Dystopia warning, obviously. Now the slow drip, drip, drip of WhatsApp messages coming out of the lockdown files from the Telegraph continues. Now it's shafting not just Matt Hancock, but the entire government directly up their shit pipes. It's proving that this government is the most corrupt criminal gang that Britain's ever known. You name it, they've done it. Corporate manslaughter, 200,000 dead from COVID alone, that's not even mentioning austerity, Class A drug use, paedophilia, rape, defrauding the country to the tune of billions. It is absolutely ludicrous that elected public officials are not held to the same level of scrutiny or the law as the rest of us when they've robbed more from us than any bank robber you could ever imagine. We elect them to run the country. But it turns out they're the people that are most likely to kill us. It's the reverse Midas effect, isn't it, of Johnson. Everything he touches turns to shit. Before I move on to other news, an important point needs to be made about one of the most recent leaks. It relates to Rishi Sunak's disastrous eat out to give your nan COVID and killer policy. It's Matt Hancock talking to then Permanent Secretary at Number 10 Simon Case, acknowledging that it's a fucking disaster and it's increasing infections, but saying, I've kept it out of the news. I'm protecting them in the comms. The government deciding what goes in the news. Now, the relationship between the media and the government has always been incestuous, but this isn't so much the media and the government being in bed together, so much as them having a gangbang and we're the people getting fucked. In other news, that lying prick will be facing the Parliamentary Privileges Committee week commencing 20th of March. He claims that he's vindicated by the report that's been released ahead of that, 26 pages, in which it shows that he is roundly fucked. Mind you, it's really hard to take seriously the lying and inane ramblings of a guy whose mind is probably addled by Nobrot, isn't it? Meanwhile, all the usual suspects are focusing on the fact that Starmer's trolled the fuck out of the government by appointing Sue Gray as his new chief of staff. It's a Labour coup, they say. And when I say they, I mean the usual suspects, the second-rate presenters of second-rate news channels, like Talk TV or GB News, which I refer to as dimly lit telly for thick fucks. P.S. Mike, don't come for me. I will ruin your life. You can't grow concrete, you prick. So yeah, despite there being literal photographic evidence, they're claiming it's a Labour coup, that they all set up Johnson all along. They're making out that Sue Gray is some kind of psychic fucking time traveller, as if many years ago when she started working for this government as an impartial civil servant, she could see into the future, know COVID was going to happen, know that our government would behave disgustingly during the pandemic by throwing fucking parties, and that Simon Case, the then ethics advisor, would have a party of his own, so she'd be brought in to draft a report. Yeah? Makes sense, doesn't it? They're fucking batshit. Put them all in the sea.